Welcome to TBC News. Our top stories. President Samia expresses appreciation for work done by orphanages. Government opens a new page on oil importation and storage. Good evening, I am Faitha Gaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. President Dr. Samia Sulu Hassan has donated money and various items to 7 orphanages in Dar es Salaam as part of her birthday celebrations. The donations were handed over on her behalf by the Deputy Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Abdallah Ulega, who says President Dr. Samia values the work they do.
Furaha na bashasha yake.
I'm happy that she has chosen to celebrate her birthday by giving gifts to orphanage centers, and one among these centers, the Msimba Center, and that of Mburati. We thank the President and all religious leaders for being an example to other citizens.
For her part, the representative of Msimbazi, Sister Stella Zaveri, has thanked the President for the donations.
I would like to thank President Dr. Samia Sulu Hassan for her endless love and support. For anyone who chooses to share her joy and happiness means the person has seen your value in his or her life. And may God bless her with prosperity and long life.
Mama, happy birthday, long live Mama, na asante sana.
Other centers that received the donations are Tuangoma, Mbagala, Mbweni, Mwasonga, and Sinza Children's Centers. President Samia, who is the first woman to head the nation, has turned 63 today. She was born in the town of Makunduchi, Zanzibar, on January 27, 1960. In commemoration of the birthday of President Dr. Samia Sulu Hassan today, the Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation, TBC, in collaboration with the government leaders of the Dodoma region, have participated in a tree planting exercise in the area of Vikonje in Dodoma. Here's the report by Ahmed Ali, read by Apasia Ringo.
It is the moment of excitement and joy that is going on here in the area of Vikonje in Dodoma, where the TBC headquarters will be built. This entertainment is enjoyed by various leaders, including the Dodoma Regional Commissioner, who are all here for tree planting exercise. Here, Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation Director General Dr. Ayub Rioba Chacha explains the strategies the corporation has to support efforts done by President Dr. Samia Sulu Hassan.
We have decided to do something that pleases her, and it has always been her desire. We as Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation TBC, we have decided to support the President in efforts to plant trees and take good care of water sources, as well as support this campaign. And we believe that this campaign will be sustainable.
Sasa sisi kama TBC tumeshiriki kuanzisha hii kampeni na tunaamini kwamba itakuwa endelevu.
And the participants of this exercise are in support of these efforts.
Many people have been complaining that Dodoma is dry and when they plant trees, they die. But currently, everyone has succeeded in planting their own tree.
Dodoma inatajwa kuwa semi-arid.
Dodoma is said to be semi-arid, but it is not what it seems. Because if we plant other trees, despite the presence of natural trees, it will increase the scenery of the city and certainty of rain, nutrition activities, and other activities to beautify, to make the city look beautiful.
We've set a strategy of planting at least 3 trees for each house, and the exercise is still going on.
Apart from government leaders, environmental stakeholders also had something to say.
We expect to plant about 1,400 trees here in TBC, but we plan on planting 400 trees today. I'm very grateful to TBC for organizing themselves, because the problem is not planting the trees, but taking care of them after rain seasons.
Finally, the TBC Director General, Dr. Ayub Rioba, inspected the progress of the construction of the corporation's headquarters here in Vikonje and expressed his delight with the speed of the construction.
They
have done a good job within a short time, and the engineers have assured me that this work will be completed on time.
In other news, the Deputy Minister of State, Vice President's Office, Union and Environment, Hamis Hamza Chilo, has directed Zanzibar Environmental Management Authority within a month to start the implementation of the project to withstand climate change for the coastal communities of Zanzibar in the islands of Unguja and Pemba. He gave the instructions while on a session with a team of experts from the Department of Environment held at the first Vice President's Office, Migombani, Zanzibar.
Tunataka bwawa lianze kujengwa, fedha zipo, wananchi wanufaike na shughuli zao.
The government demand the constructions of the project to start in 1 month from now, and they should be accomplished on time, since the residents will benefit in social and economic activities. Those who are responsible for the project should supervise accordingly.
The acting director of the Department of Environment in the Zanzibar Islands, Alawi Haji, says the cost of the project is 2 billion shillings, and the project is planned to be implemented within 3 years from 2022 to 2024.
Almost $2 million have been allocated for the project, which will take 3 years from now.
Moving on, the Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports, Mohamed Mchengera, urges all countries that participate in the Tanzania Culture Day to ensure that culture continues to strengthen unity, solidarity, and activities that will facilitate economic growth. Is a report by Henry Mabumo, read by Lulua Mohammed.
It is the celebration to mark Culture Day held at the National Defense Academy, where more than 14 countries from Africa and Asia have participated by showing their products and culture. The Minister for Culture, Arts and Sports, Mohamed Mchengera, uses the opportunity to explain the importance of the day.
This cultural event of this year is unique. More importantly, it will remind and encourage each one of us to love and appreciate our values culturally.
Then Minister Mchengera highlights growth of the Swahili language.
If some of you are not speaking Swahili, or you have not got advantage of learning Swahili for the time that you spent in this college, may I urge you to start learning Swahili. Because Swahili language now is crossing out of our continent.
The National Defense College NDC principal, Major General Ibrahim Mhona, says that through the college will use culture as a uniting factor.
We are struggling to have an integrated regions, one Africa, and a peaceful world. It can begin with cultural interactions. By so doing, we strengthen our unity, security, and the nation. We become more solid as a nation.
On their part, ambassadors from Uganda have praised the program that aims to connect Tanzania with friendly countries.
This Culture Day is very, very important because to strengthening integration. It is one way of building unity and fraternity among countries. So we support it, and we thank the government of Tanzania.
Some officers who received the policy and strategy training from the college also gave a word about the training.
This kind of social activities serve as a platform to showcase our country's product as well as building friendship and networking, just mention a few.
Heading on to the energy sector, where Minister for Energy January Makamba says Tanzania expects to commence storing oil reserves for more than 3 months, unlike now where the country stores for 15 days in accordance with the law. He made the remarks during the signing ceremony of the investment agreement document in the oil sector between the government and the oil company from the government of the United Arab Emirates ENOC Group in Dar es Salaam. The agreement will allow the start of the project to improve the oil importation infrastructure and storage in bulk here in the country.
We must apply highly advanced technology when we import fuel and store them on
Each customer has its own different requirement. So hopefully we'll put everything together and come up with the best project for the customers, for the people of Tanzania, and for the government of Tanzania.
The investment is the result of President Samia Sulu Hassan's visit to United Arab Emirates, where she held various meetings with potential investors during Dubai Expo 2020. Tanzania and India bilateral trade volume will reach $6 billion this year, 2023, due to the reduction of exchange duty and tariffs to Tanzanian products exported to the Indian market. Indian ambassador to Tanzania, Binaya Pradhan, told TBC News that trade relations between the two countries will increase due to the fact that trade exchange will be done through local currencies, Tanzanian shillings and Indian rupees.
The trade is going to see a new high this year. We'll be having about $6 billion of bilateral trade. And if we talk about investment, I'm really happy to see that 2022 saw several new investment coming in. I would like to thank the government, Ministry of Industry and Trade. I would like to thank Her Excellency President Dr. Samia Sulu Hassan for the economic reforms for bringing ease in doing business, which is being noticed by Indian business sector.
The export of gold and agricultural goods to the Indian market by year 2023 will facilitate an increase of trade volume to 6 police operations and training. Awadhi Haji says the Tanzanian police force expects to deploy the formed police unit FPU to Mozambique for peacekeeping mission. He was closing the special training to the prospective soldiers for the mission at Tanzania Police School in Moshi, Kilimanjaro region.
You have shown your competence in a very short time during our practical session. As we discussed earlier, you must implement our goal by resulting peace and security in Mozambique. I believe all of you here are going to accomplish.
And the head of the International Relations Division from the police headquarters in Dodoma, Senior Assistant Police Commissioner Renata Mzinga, says the deployment of the police force is the implementation of the SADC resolutions and strengthening
that were given by the Secretariat of the SADC force in a meeting held in April 2021. For that matter, the training met the United Nations standards on tackling various incidents.
Mtaala wa vikosi maalum vya kioperesheni vya Umoja wa Mataifa. Mfumo wa mafunzo haya ulikuwa unajulikana kwa jina la Train and Happening.
The French ambassador to Tanzania, Nabil Hajlou, says the government of France, through its French embassy to Tanzania, will continue to support the cooperation between Tanzanian and French researchers and doctors to develop innovative projects and make Tanzania a pioneering country in advanced therapy for sickle cell disease. He was handing over a Medal of Merit in honor of outstanding work of Professor Julie Makani, one of the most renowned professors of hematology in Africa, who dedicated her life to improving clinical care for patients and finding a cure for sickle cell disease, SCD. Apasia Ringo has more details.
Sickle cell disease is a genetic disorder resulting in a malformation of the red blood cells and low level of hemoglobin. Within Africa, the morbidity and mortality rates are still high, particularly in children under the age of 5 years. 80% of the new cases identified worldwide are coming from Africa, and Tanzania is one of the 5 countries in the world with the highest rates of annual births with sickle cell disease, estimated at 11,000 at birth. The pioneer work of Professor Makani contributed significantly in advancing the research of SCD in Tanzania and in Africa and improving the care for patients. She created a Pan-African network dedicated to sickle cell disease, the Sickle Cell Charter.
I am committed to look for ways that we can improve health and look for a cure for sickle cell disease using genetic therapy. And I'm hoping that with the collaboration that we have with hospitals, Muhimbili National Hospital, Aga Khan Hospital, Muhimbili University is very much committed to being the first country in Africa to do gene therapy for sickle cell disease. And this is something that has been made possible through the embassy and the support that they have given us.
So the journey continues. We still have to do a lot for sickle cell disease. We still have to identify all the patients, especially at the time of birth, as you know, through newborn screening. We have to make sure there are clinics for sickle cell disease at hospitals, regional district, across the country. We have to make sure basic services such as penicillin, hydroxyurea, immunizations are available to all patients with sickle cell disease. And the passion that she has, you have to make sure we go higher and think about cure for sickle cell disease.
The French embassy in Tanzania, through this award, intends to underline the long-lasting, fruitful and extensive collaboration that the embassy has had with Professor Makani, but also with her team from the Department of Hematology and Blood Transfusion at MUHAS.
We are honoring the doctors of Tanzania, the researchers of Tanzania, that are not only relying on others to produce knowledge and pharmaceuticals and treatments, they are relying on themselves to enhance research and knowledge. And really, Julie Makani is one of the most prominent scientists in her area, in sickle cell, and she's achieving the good results, wonderful results, and thanks to her, now thousands of Tanzanians are saving their lives and being treated here in Tanzania.
The Medal of Merit is a highly prestigious symbolic distinction of the French Republic, aims to recognize and reward remarkable and inspiring figures who contributed to the strengthening of the French-Tanzanian relationship in a particular sector, such as health and medicine. Apasia Ringo, TBC News.
In the tourism sector, Ralph Forest Reserve in Moshi Town attracts large number of local and international visitors. Here is Apasia Ringo with more details.
Ralph Forest Reserve is located about 2 to 3 kilometers from Moshi Town. The forest reserve connects you with nature and is blessed with many attractions and services, including varieties of flora and fauna species found inside the closed canopy forest, huge tree and the biggest tree in East Africa, Mvule, which drives large numbers of visitors within and outside of the country. Unique and endemic trees such as oak stigma mso, black and white colobus monkeys, blue monkeys, milk spring water, birds, butterflies, rice fields adjacent of the forest, which makes forest more attractive, and picnic site found in the Ralph Forest. Silently walking in the forest makes you lose your mind and find your soul At the same time here, your breathing rates only. Rao Forest Reserve acts as a fuel to the tourists who are climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Rao Forest is filled with various tourism activities which can make you lose your mind, like nature walking, hiking, cycling, bird watching, butterfly watching, photographing and filming, animal viewing, research and studying, worshipping, viewing Rao River, Mount Kilimanjaro, Moshi Town, and Rice Farm tour. Welcome to Tanzania. Welcome to Rao Forest Reserve.
Thank you, Apasia Ringo, for that report. And that item concludes local news tonight. International news up next. And here is international news with Nasa Kingo.
Namibia will host the extraordinary Southern Africa Development Community SADC Ogun Troika Summit next week, Monday and Tuesday. The discussions will center around issues relating to politics and the prosperity situation in the region. The gathering was to be held on Tuesday. The Ogun's incoming chairperson and outgoing chairperson are expected to present their reports at the summit. Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema is the incoming chairperson of the SADC Ogun, and his counterpart of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, is the outgoing chairperson. The SADC Ogun on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation was established in 2001 as an institution responsible for promoting peace and security in the region. It is managed on a Troika basis and is coordinated at the level of summit consisting of a chairperson. A tropical storm followed by heavy rainfall has killed at least 16 people in Madagascar. Reports from the Office for Risk and Disaster Management say 17 people remain missing after Tropical Storm Cheneso hit. More than 60,000 people have been displaced since the storm reached the island just over a week ago. Some 47,000 people are affected. The Southern Africa region killed more than 100 people and displaced thousands others. Flood waters from Angola continue to advance to more areas, and the possibility of a second flood wave hitting the country is imminent. The Oshama region is the latest to be placed under flood alert. The Minister for Agriculture, Water and Land Reform in Namibia, Carl Schletwan, says the Disaster Risk Management Committee, councillors and relevant stakeholders held a meeting in Oshakati to chart the way forward on how to mitigate the imminent floods. Schletwan warns residents in the north to be on alert of a possible flood wave expected to reach the Namibian borders in a few days. Flood waters in Namibia are usually recorded end of January and February when the rain season is at its peak. Many households in those areas are being surrounded by water, with some schools closed and some people relocated to higher grounds. The Zambia National Service Command, ZNS, has directed its engineers and the Road Development Agency, who are setting up says the works must be of good quality. In Mumbo District, General Cholochi says the in the Western Province. Last week, the Mumbo and Endless Corner Road was closed after Chiwena Bridge collapsed. This was after Ngoma River burst its banks after receiving huge volumes of water from the Kandesha Dam, whose walls collapsed after heavy rains.
And that was international news. Sports news is up next. And here is sports news with Malio Cheto.
Sports Club playmaker Klatus Chota Chama is fit to face Coastal Union from Tanga in the Federation Cup this Saturday at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. Simba Sports Club communication manager Ahmed Ali says Chama will add attacking force to Simba Sports Club, and that will add chances for Simba to win the game.
Wachezaji wetu wote wanapatikana kwenye kikosi.
Our players will be available in the squad. For a long time, Simba Sports Club missed a full squad because some of our players succumbed to injuries. By this time, we are going to face Coastal Union with our 100% full squad. We are very happy this time Zambian international Cletus Chama, who missed Dodoma Jiji because of illness, will be available to face Coastal Union.
Wiki nzima hii amefanya mazoezi na wenzie.
Chama missed the Simba Sports Club tie against Dodoma Jiji last week in Dodoma due to illness as the Simba thrashed the host a goal to nil. Indian ambassador to Tanzania, Binaya Paradhani, says India and Tanzania plan to strengthen sports and traditional ties by sending sports experts to India to polish their skills and knowledge this year, 2023. Speaking during a media briefing held in Dar es Salaam, Ambassador Parazani says that the skills and knowledge which will be imparted to them will boost the development of sports into higher levels in the country.
The sports cooperation is not limited only to kabaddi and cricket. I find football, I find many other areas where we can cooperate. So recently during my meeting with the Minister and Permanent Secretary of Culture and Sports, I was requesting that we should sign a memorandum of understanding for the cultural cooperation, which should include sports. I think this is an area where both the sides have willingness, and we are now trying to put a format for more sports exchange and more sports cooperation.
India is already supporting the development of kabaddi game in the country by giving facilities and brought Indian film superstar to promote the industry in Tanzania. Malio Cheto, TBC News.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.